Welcome back, everybody, to Nain's Shorts. Hope you're all doing great this day, because I don't know when you're watching it right now. But I'm glad that you're watching it, and I appreciate you watching this particular episode and all the other ones before it. So thank you very much for your guys' support. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. It helps. I'm not 100% sure how it helps yet, but I know it helps, so thank you very much. Plus, Rick puts in a lot of work in these videos. I'm just the pretty face. Yeah, that was dumb. Anywho, today I wanted to try something a little bit different. I wanted to actually attempt, and I use that word very strongly, attempt to teach you something along the lines of how we teach some of our students. Okay? And that is our very first angle of attack, which we call our angle 1. As some of you may know, we do use a clock system as our angles. And again, they're less about learning how to strike and more about understanding a movement, the motion that goes along with it. So with that in mind, if you guys haven't already, you could stand up, give yourself a little bit of space. Some of you probably aren't even getting up and you're just waiting for me to get to the point, but you're going to have to suffer through this part anyways. So grab your stick, whichever one you're comfortable with. If you don't have a Kali stick, any medium that's this shape will work. Anything stick-like is going to work in this case, because what I want you to focus on is the ideas behind it. For example, when you're setting up for this particular strike, I want you to extend your arm as high as it can go. You don't want to hold the stick up here. You want it to rest naturally. Have that bend in your elbow and point that elbow as high as you can. Feel that stretch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop our hand towards our knee. Now, I don't know how long your arms are, but mine is usually going to stop around my hip, just below it. Okay? Because I want that full extension. It's going to look something like this. So, I'm going to do that again, a little bit slower. Again, get a full stretch. Feel that tension. Drop your hand towards your knee, and it's going to end somewhere here on your hip. Now, at the bottom, it's going to go as far as it goes, as your arm allows it to go, and then it's going to naturally break. Keep in mind, you have to be fully relaxed physically in order to accomplish this. If you're muscling through, you might hit yourself. If you're tensing up and trying to get it right, it's not going to work quite as easily as if you just relax and allow the mechanics to work from shoulder to knee. That's the line that you're trying to create. Drop the hand, and this is where you end up. Now I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it from this angle. Okay? All the way up, you can see the stick is flushed with my back. My hand isn't much higher than my head because the bend is at the elbow, and I'm pointing up, and I'm dropping my hand. Okay? Now, one more time. There you go. Now, before we continue, I'm getting directions again because my director is finicky the way he is, so I'm going to do it this way now because he's blind. So he needs more angles, either that or he's trying to check out my ass. I'm not sure, but we're going to go with this, so play along, people. So one more time, elbow up, relax, shoulders are relaxed, no tension, I'm not muscling through this. I'm allowing this drop to happen towards my knee. And I end up again in my hip. One more time. There we go. Now, a little bit of speed. What does that look like? You ready? All right, one more time. Now, did you see any strain on my side? Did you see me muscle through? Did it look like a strong strike? It's for you to judge. But here's a question that I do want you to consider. What was going through your head while you were receiving these instructions? For those of you who have FMA training, did you simply revert back to what you associated this particular motion to whatever angle it is that you know it to be, and just did that. In other words, did you just do what you already know how to do? For those of you who don't have any FMA training, were you listening to the words that I was saying, or were you just trying to imitate what you saw visually? That stands a lot of questions. And then there's the people that never even got up to try it, in which case I'm getting to the point, hold on. Or you can fast forward, either way. But if there were any of you who asked, why is he saying those things specifically? Why was he emphasizing the elbow, the stretch? I know some of you aren't as mobile or as flexible, so you just need to move as far up as you possibly can. And that's okay, but you will still feel a lot of the same tensions that I'm referring to. This is why it's important to keep a relaxed state, so you can feel all these muscles being pulled. So you can feel the tension that starts from the elbow all the way down. So you can feel the compression of your bicep, not because you're holding it strong, but because the weight of your arm is bent over itself. And the weight of the stick is also adding to that. Now, I specifically said drop your hand. I did not say extend and then drop. Now, it's a very key point to make, and going into what we consider our level 2 of understanding, the detailing. The reason why we do not extend the hand is because now you're actually using more muscle. You're using energy in order to extend the entire weight of the arm to gain momentum down. Do you have to do that in order to gain momentum? No. Now, traditionally in most sports, like baseball and football, you do concentrate the weight of the movement, whether you're moving forward, whether you're stepping in for that throw, because that's where the weight is. That's where you want to release the kinetic energy and transfer it to the ball. But here's the thing. What part of the stick are you hitting with? Most likely, the end piece. Just like a bat. You don't hit with the part closest to your hand. You hit with the end piece. That's why it's bigger. So that mass transfer that energy and you can hit it harder. Same thing here. I'm trying to hit with the end of my stick, not my hand. So why would I concentrate that energy here? Why wouldn't I concentrate it on the tip? So how do you do that? Well, very simply, without having to use too much energy, you let gravity take over and you drop the hand. Oh, hey, that's what I said. Drop the hand in the direction of your knee. That's our 1 o'clock angle. If you get comfortable with this motion, then you can start adding the other parts of the body. Because just like I did the example with the baseball, it wasn't just my arm. There's no way in hell that those players would ever reach 90 miles per hour just using their arm. They use the entirety of the body. They transfer energy from their center, and everything goes at the end. But in a fight, you'd be telegraphing. So, for us, we say, let gravity do the work. Just drop your hand. Don't extend. Just drop it down. Once you get comfortable with that motion, and you can do it fluidly, as slow as you possibly can, without deviating, without getting this shakiness like some of us get when we concentrate way too hard on doing it right, instead of doing it how it feels right. Because your body type is going to be different than mine. So it has to work for how you can move, which is why the idea of being comfortable and relaxed throughout this whole process becomes your learning tool to evaluate how well you're doing that motion. Eventually, you can add speed to it. You can add the tension at the point of impact. You can add your hips. Oh, well, now that really sounded hard. You can add a step forward. Oh, that allows me to turn more. Okay, well, oh, here's my stretch. Oh, that was the point of the stretch of the elbow. it cocks back without me having to go back here. I can still stay close to my body because, as we've explored before, when your hands are closer to your body, to your core, you are much stronger than when you are fully extended. Plus, you don't waste as much energy, and let's face it, in a fight, it's exhausting. So the more energy you can conserve, the better off you're going to be in the long run. So then, now we add all the other elements to it. The hip, the knees are slightly bent. Ooh, I can even drop a little bit. Ooh, I don't know if that came off or was picked up by the microphone, but there's a good swoosh that goes along with it. There it is. Wow. And look, all the mechanics still are in play, even if I do it slow, because I'm listening to my body. I'm not trying to force it. I'm not trying to copy something that I saw. I'm understanding at what point is there maximum tension, at what point is the elasticity of our muscles pulled to the end and then drawn back. That snapping action that happens when you pull a rubber band, because essentially that's how our muscles work. Now, did that come across? For those of you who are trying this, how did it feel? Again, were you listening to the words and the why? The significance behind the details that were given to you just now? And did your best to understand them? For you, not for me. I know how to swing my stick the way I was taught to swing it. But even then, that in what we do is a misnomer, because I was never taught to swing the stick. All the details that were involved were about me, my mechanics. Okay? The shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, everything that goes along with it. All in a relaxed state. I can generate force, I can generate a lot of power because it's my movements. But what if I don't have a stick? What if instead I have a blade? Say a machete. Would that still work the same way? Well, there's less weight here. It works even faster now. Oh, look at the shape of the blade. It's front heavy, which means, just like a bat, all that energy is going to be transferred to the tip. I don't have to wait to raise my hand and drop it. Oh, the weapon itself is going to generate that much more force because of it. And more importantly, because the concentration was on my movement, I don't have to learn how to swing 3 separate things. I can still do the same motion with this knife. In understanding the differences behind it, now I know, oh, I don't have to go that far because this knife is shorter than the stick. I don't have to drop all the way here. I don't have to extend all the way here because I understand this motion so well. That is enough to generate the force, the speed that I need in order for this to do its job, which is simply to cut or stab, hook if I get it behind somebody. But is there a difference to the motion? Very slightly. I just showed you from its apex all the way down to its furthest point. How you use it afterwards could be right here, but the motion is still the same. Whether you have a weapon or not, the motion still works. How you use it, well, that's the fun part. That's the exploration. That's where the art shines. The ideas and concepts from your art. The combative aspects of it. What you're trying to accomplish with this motion. If it's just to look good, there you go. If it's to actually use for combat, well, now you're generating force effortlessly because you worked on the mechanics. The stick, that was a training tool. It's just a way to evaluate whether or not all these details that were given to you work. Whether you're getting better at it. A simple motion like this, to me, felt natural, felt great. I don't know what it looked like to you. I hope it looked pretty. Not because I'm trying to be pretty, but because it worked naturally and it flowed the way that my body is capable of moving. So I don't know if you got the lesson across, whether you can swing better now than you did before, or maybe it's just a reminder of things that we haven't played with in a while. Going back to the most basic of ideas, how refined are your movements of the basics? Is there more to learn, more to explore, more to develop? Now with just a little bit of tweak on what it is you focus on. It's not hitting with a stick. For us, it's the motion behind it, the mechanics, and more importantly, the individual student, and whether or not they can move to the best of their ability. Thank you for joining me on here, another one of Nain's Shorts. I hope this helped in some way. Again, like and subscribe if you can. Share. Let us know what you think. And I'll see you on the next one. 3, 2, 1, cut!